Lispera Galinichta. No matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. We go live again and we bring back one of your favorites. Let's rock and roll, squaddies. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. Hello, everyone. Broadcasting at not usually on a Thursday, but here we are. So the majority of you listening to this on replay, welcome. And to those on our audio platforms, Apple and Spotify, thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe so you do not miss a show. And squaddies, welcome to you. And more importantly, our special guest this evening, who looks like an international man of mystery. I am pre-warning you, everyone. It's a shame that audio listeners can't see. But I'm telling you right now, I thought it was Jordan coming on the show, but I think it's the Batman.
I wish I was Batman. I'd love to be Batman. You know what it is? My lighting situation, I don't know what's happened. I've kind of just stumbled in the last couple of weeks. I've changed the setting, but I don't know what. And I've got this really dark, moody look now that I did not go for. Trust me, this is not intended. I'm not that smart. But I'm kind of liking it. Black black t-shirt.
You know, Zack Snyder does not watch this show. I just thought I'd let you know. But I like it. I like it a lot, you know.
I think I like it as well. I mean, I've got to fix it because it's maybe a little bit too dark.
It's a little bit too dark. However, it's very mysterious.
We do this. We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
And it does remind me of something that we talked about in the green room, you know, old school style right there. But listen, at least it's red, right?
It's got to be red. It's got to be red. It's got to be red.
Ryan said it for us.
Oh, what's Ryan saying? What's Ryan saying?
Amsterdam saying.
Yeah. Dirty middle-aged pervert man.
You know what, Jordan? I'm okay. 2025 was definitely a challenge. But who doesn't like a challenge? 2026 is off to a decent start, touch wood. So yeah, I mean, all good, waking up, making that first espresso, sitting in the California sun and just thinking, you know what, this is okay. This is just
could be worse.
Could be worse. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, same, I forever live in gratitude. I mean, things could always be better, whatever better is. But I've got plenty. My cup is full, so I'm never gonna complain too much because yeah, man, I'm grateful for what I've got, and I've got a very exciting year ahead to look forward to. So yeah, I'm good. Good start to the year as well.
Excellent. Well, that's good. And the new podcast, Loose Cannons, is doing very, very well. You seem to be enjoying doing that with James and with Turkish.
Love it. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, we're on episode, I think we recorded episode 22 yesterday or something, I don't know. And it's just flying. It's flying. It's just gone through the roof. And yeah, I think our podcast works because as an extension from our former pods, Forever Arsenal, we focus on personality first, subject second. Anyone can talk about Arsenal. That's not anyone can do that. What is harder is engaging people, and I think you engage them not with your Arsenal views, you engage them with the authenticity of the relationship between the three of us. We're all very different people, and we have different takes, different opinions, different views, different ages, and that mix and that respect, it's all in respect, but that mix of different differences comes out in just a joyous, bonkers, sometimes tangential discussion between the three of us, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. So I think it's been received very, very well.
Yeah,
and we enjoy it. We enjoy it, and it helps when Arsenal are doing well. that is when I'm having a great Arsenal podcast. But if your team are not doing very well, it makes the pod a bit of a chore. So it definitely helps when your team are winning.
No doubt. A great man and co-host on this show once said, "Winning cures everything, Sophie."
There
And
we
there's
go.
no doubt he was right about that. And you're right about personality. I think that's what made us work from the get-go was the personality.
Mhm,
And it just so happened we talked about football.
mhm.
And I think that's very important in content creation is having an affinity. You can have an affinity with a brand, but do you have a connection with it, right? And it's totally different having a connection. And I think that's one of the things, and I see that that's building for you is we have a community that's been with us from day one, and they've become friends. They
Yeah,
meet up, they talk, they follow each other now, and that's really important. I think community is what makes the show as well. So
100%.
yeah, you
People
definitely
people warm to people. Do you know what I mean? We could have the most articulate, chin stroking, tactical views on Arsenal. We can have the most great stories of when we were. That's all well and good, but if people don't warm to us, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. People
right.
warm to the three of us, and they might listen, as you will see and you'll know. Many people, most people, disagree with all of my takes, but that's okay. That's okay. They still come back because they think I'm talking rubbish, but they like me. They like James. They like Turkish,
Hmm.
and that's what. Think of your favorite film. Think of your favorite TV program. The storylines, the production, those things are really important, but they're
Yeah,
never more important than the people, the
yeah,
characters, the actors. You know what I mean? People warm to people. So I think that's the
exactly.
success
Yeah.
behind our.
That's very, very good. And also, I totally agree with Peter. You're giving traitors vibes. Um,
Ah,
can you can
you
you
know what?
do the
After this
voice?
pod, I'm gonna watch that. I've got to catch up. I think I'm a couple behind, so that's really funny you mentioned that because I'm a big fan.
I love that. Title number 14 says, "Cut to the chase, Jordan. Let's talk about Gyokeres." I've had so many messages, people saying, "Are you going to ask Jordan about Gyokeres?" Because they think that we'll get in a fight about it. So I'm assuming you're not in the patient column when it
I'm
comes
gonna,
to Mr. Gyokeres, or
I'm
are
gonna,
you?
I'm gonna assume you are in the patient's
Oh
camp.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think he's been so effective, and I think we could have this argument if we were in fourth or fifth, and the same in the Champions League. But where I come from now, and seeing as title number 14 and others have asked, is picking him now to me is an insult to Mikel Arteta's football intelligence as a manager. There's a reason why he's picking him, and there's a method to the madness. And the line I come back to always, Jordan, is um, you may want him to play a certain way because you've seen him play that way, which is what brought him to the Arsenal. However, as we've seen with Mikel Arteta, adaptability is everything. And he's playing the way Mikel wants him to play. And I think we get caught into this vortex as Arsenal fans where we want players to be something that Mikel doesn't want them to
Hmm.
be. And partially, Victor's a victim of his own success, but he's come into a system that doesn't. And people keep saying, if I hear someone say once again, it's not that it's the system or his teammates don't pass to him. It's we've seen other players suffer from that creativity block when you're being asked to win duels and track off the ball and do all of these things. So I think he's been very effective. Kenny Ken called him a professional decoy, very expensive one. But I think it's working, and I have no problem with Havertz or Jesus coming in either. Jordan, I don't care who plays as long as we win and we win the title. That's all I care about. I'm more points versus performance with most players at this point because I'm so desperate to win the title. But I do think Victor has been almost bullied Harry Maguire style, and it's all well and good having clickbait titles. But if you look deep, and James, who's going to be on our show on Monday, your co-host, did a great piece on Victor Gyokeres on his channel that I urged our listeners to kind of go check out. So I love to hear your take because some of our listeners have not heard it.
Well, first of all, James might have changed his mind since that video. So maybe on Monday, ask him about how he feels about him now.
Well, maybe the Liverpool game, but not last night, not the Chelsea game.
No. He was kind. He was relatively kind. So there's a few things there. I mean, you said that you feel he's been very effective. I mean, from the gate, I couldn't disagree more. I think he's been very ineffective. I think the first. Okay, I'll start off by saying this. Sophie, I'm not an Arsenal fan that has changed my mind on Victor Gyokeres because of 15, 20 games, whatever how many games he's played. I've not changed my mind. I never wanted him. So how I feel about him now is how I felt about him when we were linked with him. And the reason why all the reasons that I didn't want us to sign him are the things that I'm seeing now. If you look, I don't watch the Portuguese league. I'm not going to pretend like I did. So when we were linked to him quite heavily, my first thing was, okay, let me look at this guy. I seen him in the Champions League a couple of times, but I hadn't really watched him. So I thought, okay, we're going to get either him or Šeško. So let me just do some homework and actually look at this guy play. So I looked at pretty much all of his goals from the last 2 seasons on YouTube, and I know YouTube has highlights and doesn't get a full round of view of the whole game. But I looked at his goals, and Sophie, I would say 75% of his goals were very, very similar. They were channel runs where he would outpace and outmuscle the centre back or the fullback, cut inside and rip the net to smithereens. And my concern was that goal is absolutely insane. What he just did there that's brilliant. Oh, that is. But my bro, in this league, you can't do that, because in this league there are players. Forget top level, Sophie. There are Fulham defenders. There are Brentford defenders. There are mid-table defenders who will match you for pace and power. Yeah, they would. So that will negate your pace and power. Coming here and thinking you can bully up defenders in the Premier League. This ain't the Portuguese league. It's different levels. Second of all, technically, he looked good in the Portuguese league because he has time. In those leagues, you have a lot more time to do what you need to do, get your feet sorted, and finish. In this league, you don't get time. So your first touch, your movement, the angle of your body, all those things has to be near perfect to get your shot off. So I thought he's scoring some really good goals, but technically, I'm not sure he's of the level. I saw a stat yesterday. I think he scored like 49 goals last season.
Mm-hmm.
He scored one header. I think he's 6'3", if I'm not wrong. I think he's 6'3". How are you 6'3" and you've only scored a header? Now, most of his goals probably did come from channel runs and tap-ins, so fine. But I've watched him this season, Sophie, and I don't even see flick-ons. He's not even winning flick-ons. So in the air, you're not a threat. So I'm left asking the question: if technically you're not of the level, the thing that you are good at is negated, because defenders in this league, if they have one thing, it is pace and power.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even Havertz. Havertz, at least in the air, is a big problem. Havertz, aerially, is a beast. So I'm asking, well, what are you bringing? Now, this isn't for me about confidence. I hear people saying he's lacking confidence. And I think as football fans, our default when a player's not playing well tends to be, lacking confidence. He's lacking confidence. Sometimes it's not confidence. Sometimes the player's just not of the level. It's not confidence, it's competence. He's just not good enough. Now, if he was playing he may go back to Portugal next year, for example, and he rip it up again. The level is just not the level we require. You also mentioned you don't really care who's up front and we score goals as long as we win. I hear that, but the fan base were telling me this is the guy who's going to score lots of goals. And I said at the start of the season, if we win this title, it will be in spite of him, not because of him. And if you're meant to be this guy that we finally signed after how many years of not having a striker, I'm sorry, invading space and making a couple of good runs, that's not good enough for me. And I'm not going to back the guy just because he's on my team. I'm not one of those fans, Sophie, I'm not going to back the guy just because he's in my team. I'm looking at the player and he's not good enough.
I hear what you're saying. He's our top scorer, which says a lot about the other creative forces in the team and the amount of energy or lack of energy some of our other creative players or players are not getting when they underperform or they don't finish.
Mhm.
And I don't think this is a Darwin Núñez moment, because you can't really pick many situations where he has totally whiffed in front of goal. One or two. He's not missing sitters, right? And also, again, it goes back to he's who Mikel wants him to be, not who you want him to be. However, in that Nottingham Forest game, it was either Zubimendi or Calafiori, one pass to Eza one touch to
Mhm.
Gyokeres in the box, Gyokeres smashes it in the back of the net.
Mhm.
So when people say he's a one touch, he's scores simple goals or whatever, also it's like, who gives a shit if he scores simple goals as long as he scores goals? But when you see the Eza combination, and I can't remember if it was in the same game or the game after, where he combined outside of the box with Madueke, right? 1-2 pass, he went over to the right and smashed it, and it hit the crossbar. It may have been the same game. When you see those moments, when you see him making those runs, when he is the top scorer, he's affecting the team somehow, some way. It seems to me that we have maybe now for Mikel Arteta something to think about, because if he's stinking up the joint for you, and also Eza's underperforming, Madueke's not really covering for Saka as we thought, does this also lie on the shoulders of Mikel and how
So,
Mikel plays?
so there's a few things there. First of all, the goal he cited against Forest, where as he puts it across, he taps it in.
Yes,
How
that was
many
a
of those
great
goals?
finish.
How many of those goals has he scored?
But how many
Because
times has he played with a faster player like Eza to be able to get
fair,
those chances?
fair, but I can also think of a minimum of 5 times where, be it Saka or Trossard, has put the ball on a play across the box, and he's not only just missing it. You said he's not missing sitters. He's not even getting shots. He's not even in a position to miss sitters. So for me, this is why I don't think he's of the level, because it'd almost be better if he was missing sitters. Giroud, I'm a big Giroud fan. I always back Giroud. He wasn't good enough to win us a title. He wasn't elite, world class, but I always liked Giroud. Giroud used to miss some sitters, but at least Giroud was there to miss the sitters. This guy's not even there to miss the sitters. I agree with your point about our overall attack. Our overall attack, I don't think is particularly amazing, and I think it needs work. So no one really thrives under our attack. So I'll give him that. There's no one really. Trossard's had a good season. Saka's been consistent. Odegaard's come into a little bit of form of late, but no one in our attack has been particularly brilliant. So it's not like I'm saying everyone's been brilliant and he's been poor. But my thing is, contribute. Even in times when other players aren't playing well, and I'll bring in Jesus and Havertz into this, because I'm not a massive fan of Jesus and Havertz being our number 9 either. But at least they contribute. Flick-ons, beat a man, a backboard, so someone can play off you. Those guys at least contribute. I've seen too many games this season where I'm like, bro, what have you done today? What have you done?
And what if the other contributions don't end up in much either? What's the point? All these padded stats, contributions, XG, bullshit. Did you put the goal in the back of the net? Did your pass lead to something? I'm just saying the arguments that are given to present a case against Gyokeres are the same arguments that those players are kind of falling on their own sort of too.
But if Havertz has a 1-2 and he's holding his guy off, lays it off to Saka, Saka pulls back to Odegaard skies it. That's not great, but at least Havertz contributed to an attack. We didn't score. It's a dead stat, but at least he contributed. I'm not even seeing Gyokeres contribute. And you said that, and you also said that you don't really care who scores the goal as long as we win. That's the majority of the fan base, because you said you were
this season. This season,
right? I'm weird, right? And everyone knows that. I actually
want to be entertained.
I am weird. I hold it. For me, it does matter. It does matter that our centre forward plays well and contributes. And I see someone in the chat saying, give him a season. I'm like, I don't need another season, because I've seen that this guy is not. Now, if next year comes and he bangs 30 goals, I'll hold my hands up. I've got it wrong. Because sometimes some players do have a shocking first season and have a great Premier League career, or vice versa. But I'm not looking at the form or his stats. I'm looking at the player. And I'm looking at a guy and saying, you're just not good enough for this, for what we need. You're not good enough. You're maybe at Spurs, maybe at Fulham, maybe at Palace, he could contribute. But at this level, for a team going for a title, you're not good enough. And I don't want to be mean. I don't have an agenda. I want the guy to shut me up and prove me wrong. But my eyes aren't lying to me.
What did your eyes tell you last night?
Right. So I bet you've got some intel on this. And because I'm a fair man, to prove that I have no agenda, I was the only person on Loose Cannons last night that gave him man of the match. I thought last night he was really good. 3 or 4 times in the first half, the channel balls, he won all of them. Outmuscled his defender every single time. A couple of times ball came into him, held it up, laid it off. We're on the attack. Brilliant. That's before the goal. He got a goal. All right, it's a mistake from the keeper, but he's there. He's not always there, but on this time he was there to tap it in. He got an assist. So for me, I thought his overall play, forget the goals for a second, even if he hadn't scored, I would have still rated his performance. His overall forward play was really, really good. He contributed, he was good. But that game is not the majority. That game is the minority. And I was fair. I thought he was the best player on the pitch yesterday.
So there is a player in there. There is a player in there.
There is.
That player is dependent on a lot of what players do around him. Do you think Saka's become a bit selfish this season for the wrong reasons?
I don't think Saka trusts him. I don't think any of them trust him. I don't think any of them really feel like if I put you through, you're going to get there. I don't think they trust him.
Did you see the way they celebrated with him yesterday? It felt like everyone was so happy with him, and they were passing to him a little bit more last night. And he had a bit of a pop at Saka in the celebration.
He did, but I'm going to contradict myself here because Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said it in the punditry in the post match analysis. He said, if you're Gyokeres, you should be saying, "Yo, Bukayo, put the ball there. Yo, Gabriel, put the ball." As a forward, tell your wingers, give me the ball. Like, tell them, give me the ball. But equally, I understand why they don't give him the ball because they don't quite trust him yet. For me, he's too big. This might sound really basic, but around this area here, he's too big. He's not mobile enough. Look at the strikers in the league that are 6'3" plus or 6 foot plus. Look at Thiago at Brentford. Look at Raul Jimenez at Fulham. Look at Mateta at Palace. Look at Sesko. They're all 6'2" plus, but there's trim. So they're mobile. He's too big. He can't be in a foot race. He's beating nobody. He's too big and too bulky. So have
you seen a picture of him? He's so cut.
He's strong, but this isn't rugby. Rugby.
I think that's playing to our advantage up front this season, which is why Saka isn't having triple play on him. You know,
so, it's a good point. And the first 5 to 10 games, that was the one thing I was giving him. I was saying, you know what? It is fair to say he's occupying 2 centre backs. They can't triple on double up on Saka because he's occupying defenders. I did give him that. But after the first 5, 6, 7, 8 games, that was it. It's like,
that Bournemouth game, then we're not scoring that third goal or is it the second goal without?
I mean,
four and a half defenders occupied.
I praised him for that, but again, we're slightly
we're unearthing. Like that's 5 praises now. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Because I'm fair. I said on our pod as well. I said fair play to him. He occupied at least 3 centre backs, but we're clutching. If we've signed this guy to occupy, come on. You've got to score goals. At the end of the day, you've got to, in an Arsenal team.
Our top scorer.
It's not saying much, though, so come
on.
It
wasn't saying much either last season when Havertz was our top scorer and he'd been out since January and he finished on 10 goals. So this isn't a Gyokeres issue. This is an Arsenal Football Club
I think it's both. I think it's an attack issue. Our attack isn't great, but Mourinho scores goals in his team. So does Jesus. He scored the other day.
But they haven't scored more goals than Gyokeres.
But they've played significantly less than Gyokeres, but their rate is better than his.
But they've also been playing in the system for a lot longer. And Jesus, the argument for Jesus is like, I hope he stays fit because it's like having 2 January signings in Havertz and Jesus.
I agree.
This could be the edge that we have, you know, but I'm going to get on to, I want to get stuck into your 5 things that Arsenal have to do to win a major trophy. What Arsenal have to do between now and May. And in no order of importance, but and because I wanted to kind of shift into this, because it could be that some of the Gyokeres Saka talk might lead into one of your points. But
Sure.
how do we do it? What's Jordan's top 5? Let's take the first one.
Sure. Okay, I'll try and rattle through them. I think the first thing we need to do is double down on what makes us really good, which is defense. As we just said in the last conversation, I don't think our attack is particularly amazing. I think we have periods and we have games where we look really good, but I don't think our attack is brilliant. So, but what if we win this league? We'll win this league because defensively you can't score past us, but you might get one. But our attack is good enough that we can get 2, maybe 3. So I think we've got to double between now and May. We've got to double down on what got us top. What got us top of the league was that run of 10 games where I think we conceded 1 goal between, what was it? Like, it was like September to November. I think we've got to go back to that. We've got to go back to a team of, we just can't score past them. So we just can't score. They're too good. The walk, the back, the Rolls Royce in Saliba. We just can't get. We've got to get back to that. That will make us win this title. That's the first thing. So
how do you think we've gone away from it? What do you think's happened?
Injuries.
Is the injuries to Gabriel Saliba and then Calafiori? And
there's no coincidence that we started letting him goals. I mean, the Sunderland game, I think, was the first one. And I don't think was Saliba there. Gabriel
Saliba wasn't playing in that game.
Was he? Yeah. And then we got Calafiori out now. I think Timber was out for a game or 2. Gabriel was out for 6 weeks. So I think we just had our flow disrupted. Our defense was good enough, the backup defense, to win games, but it wasn't good enough to keep clean sheets. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to go back to, this is the reason I love that. I love that. So there we go. There we go.
For those listening on audio, I'm showing a picture of our defense.
I love that.
Black ties.
So I think the first thing is defensively, let's go back to what made us so good. And that for me, at its essence, is defensively, we're just an absolute wall. You just forget about it.
Are you worried about the left back right now with Calafiori injured again and Miles not really performing? Timber had his moments against Esteval. There were moments that he kind of cooked him a few times, but then found his feet more in the second half.
I think it was an equal battle. A couple of times Esteval did cook him. He did cook him a couple of times. A couple of times he got clamped. I thought that was a good battle between a top prospect and a top fullback. So I wasn't that. I mean, it worried me if Esteval cooked him 4, 5, 6 times. Then I'd be a bit like, whoa, I gotta be there. What's going on there? No, the left back spot for me isn't particularly concerning. We've got 3, 4 great options. The fact that Martin Lewis Skelly's not getting in is a bit interesting. You know, what's happening there, I'm not quite sure. But he'll get minutes. I personally think now's the time. He's not had a great season when he has played this year. Now's the time for me. I would start phasing him in as a midfielder. I would start bringing him on as sub, as a replacement, as a backup for Zubimendi. He's the most closest, and just as James's point on the pod, I'm taking, but he's right. The closest person in profile to Zubimendi is Mars Lewis Skelly. So that's what I would start doing. So no, I think my overall number one is go back to being defensive beast, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. And you know what? I love the Miles that played in that Man City game a season and a half. It was a season and a half ago where he was in midfield and he was going up. That's the Miles I love.
Yes.
You know, he was unafraid against Man City. He was going. That was when the Haaland thing really started, and then the celebration came. Right. There's still a player in there. This is why I say you don't become shit overnight. There's a player in there, and there are other things that kind of affect, you know, how they play and what really happens. What's your second one, Jordan?
The second one is Mikel Arteta's ability, Mikel Arteta's squad management / injuries. And I think that they're two different things for me. Squad management is he has to find a way between now and May, when it could be really good times and a very exciting period for the club, to keep everybody happy, keep everybody hungry, to keep everybody wanting to contribute. It's going to be a really fun next 3 or 4 months, so we hope. If he can keep everybody wanting to be in the starting 11, training hard, you know, being good teammates. What they call it, being good tourists. The squad players being good tourists, on their toes, sharp, ready to can contribute. I think that's really key. The minute you start getting a couple of players in the squad that start sulking, that start feeling that they're not included, they're not involved, that for me is when you can. It only takes 2 players, just takes a couple of players to start infesting or start infecting, should I say, the vibe and the chemistry, sulking, moaning, not feeling involved, and that can very quickly spread. So I think the first part is squad management has got to be that everybody feels like they're involved. You might not start, you might need to play a few sub games, but you're going to be involved and you're valued. The other half of that for me is injuries. And I think every team that wins a Premier League title, you have 3 or 4 players that you just can't do without. For the running, you have 3 or 4 players that are just like, if any of those are out long term, we're in trouble. For me, those are the 2 at the back, Saliba and Gabriel, Rice and Saka. Those are the 4 that I don't think Arsenal long term can do without. There's other key players that I rate highly. Trossard's a match winner. Zubimendi is a big part of why Rice has been good this season. David Raya has been the best keeper in the league, and Yurin Timber has been the best right back in the league, probably on form as well. But I feel like we can, for a month or 2, if those players were injured, I think we'd be okay. I think if you lose Rice for a long period, if you lose Saka for a long period, if you lose Gabriel Saliba for a long period, I think we're in trouble. So for me, it's Mikel Arteta's ability to keep the squad harmonious and happy, but also protect and make sure there's no key injuries where possible to those 4 players.
I think the good thing about the character and the DNA profile of our players is we don't really have too much chaos in the dressing room. We don't have moaners. Now, I'm sure there's moaning that goes on. There's a story someone's trying to brew between AirPod Albert today and Declan Rice. The players seem to have like team spirit. It smells like team spirit over there. So I think that's a good thing for Mikel. Maybe the way Pep had to manage the players in the squad at Manchester City, he's learned from that a little, you would think.
Yeah.
And I think you're totally right. Squad management, depth, and utilizing your players at the right times is the most important thing.
Sure.
Jordan looks like Vader from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, baby.
You like that one, don't you? BX Gunner says that's a terrible take. He's built solid. That was about Gyokeres.
I'm not saying flabby. I'm not saying he's fat or flabby. I'm saying the guy's hench. I'm saying he's too hench. That's my point. I'm saying he's too stacked.
There's a lot of comments about Gyokeres. Okay, what's your number 3, Jordan?
My number 3 is Mikel Arteta. He has to manage this next 4 months and with a certain temperament that is perfect. I think he has to, because the squad will reflect him. He has to, in press conferences, watch what he says. Nothing stupid, nothing controversial, nothing inflammatory, nothing that's going to just rock the boat. Just play it safe. Don't try and be funny. Don't try and be controversial. Just everything you say now could potentially cause more problems. Just play it safe in press conferences. When you get asked certain questions, bat it back straight. The top of the league, 1 game at a time. Don't put more unneeded pressure on yourself. On the sidelines, I think he's actually, maybe not so much on the sideline, but in press conferences, I think his demeanor's calmed down a little bit. But I often do wonder on the sidelines how much him constantly being up and gesticulating and instructing. I wonder how much that gets through, but secondly, how much it helps us. If you look to the sideline, your manager's doing his nut every 2 seconds. That can't be very assuring for players. If I'm on the pitch and my manager is always up on the sideline, he's catching balls and throwing it to our players to do throw-ins. It's like, bro, just relax. We got this. I don't know if he needs to be as agitated as he often is. So I think he now needs to just realize, right, this is where managers need to really manage and carry themselves in a certain way. And I think Guardiola is looking at him as like, right, can you, when the pressure's on top, the pressure will come. The pressure will come. Will you say something stupid? Will you have a Keegan moment? Will you have a Rafa Benitez moment? Will you have a moment where you're like, as Arsenal fans, we're like, Oh, Mikel, no. Or can you keep your cool? Can you play it straight? Can you be dignified and authoritative as the Arsenal manager at your most pressured? You might lose a game, you might get knocked out of a cup, but can you keep it together? I think that the third thing for me is Mikel Arteta's not management, but Mikel Arteta's
etiquette.
His etiquette. There you go. I think that's really going to be important for us now. He's done a really good job up until this point. Don't blow it by saying something stupid. You know, saying something about your players or the fact everyone's on side. Let's just keep this one game at a time. Let's just keep it ticking over.
So I've talked a lot about his demeanor this season, and I keep saying wherever I get to talk that he's different. There's a calmness to him. Now, on the sidelines, that changes because of the passion of the game. And I think it's good to have emotion, but it's not good to be too emotional. And a team is the image of their manager. And great teams who become the image of their manager, win for reasons. And if Mikel's going to learn anything, he got a yellow card the other day, in another a yellow card or whatever. But you can't take all of the emotion out of him, but you need him to be steady Eddie. You need him to be a little bit boring, sometimes go. like his football. And this too, from Yannis Daliotis, I have talked about this, and I want your take on it. Please, no manufactured hype and pre-game videos, fan pep talk from the club for any big game. Jordan, I hated the video they got Mikel to do before the PSG game at home in the Champions League last season. We went about our business against Real Madrid with no hype videos, none of this marketing bullshit stuff, and we smashed them. And then it got to PSG, the noise got louder, get in your seats, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Let it be organic, and don't get Mikel sucked into this promo bullshit, keeping the fight alive. All that nonsense. What's your take? I think
it's a great point. Yeah. And that's kind of that's a really good point. It's kind of what my point is. The club don't need to force it. We're in a good position. We're doing well. We don't need any manufactured hype men or any kind of well-produced slow-mo videos. Forget all that. We'll do all that in the trophy parade. We'll do all that in the summer when we're hopefully champions. We don't need that. Just do your job. Just do your job. We don't need you to be. Just do your job. And I know Arsenal love a video. We love a social media video. No. Don't tell us to hype up. We will come to the semi-final of the Champions League. We will be hyped. And if it's for a final, you can do a video with the legends, do a video with the fans. I don't know, but no, just do your job. So I think that post is bang on.
Play the game, not the occasion. Let's act like we belong. And sometimes we act like we don't because we haven't won it. Like Liverpool, Manchester City, they can make all the hype videos they like. They've been there before, right? They can utilize those moments of history as well. So I wanted your take on that because I thought it was a great point and something we've been talking about. And agree. I've said as well that this season the squad is there, the depth is there. If anything, this season is the season that is the most down to Mikel versus the players, because the players are there, Jordan.
They are. There's no excuses.
What's your fourth one?
My fourth one, right, is Eberechi Eze. I've been saying all season, I'm convinced Eberechi Eze will take a little while to get up to scratch with how we play. We're playing him different to how Palace played him. Palace had the luxury of being a counter team. So on the break, Eze is a massive issue. He's a problem in a good way. Halfway, like running at you, beating two players, putting someone in or putting the top corner. Eze, we've seen that goal from Eze so many times. We can't do counter-attacking football because most teams sit in, right? Most teams don't push up on us. So the game we need from him is different. One of the key things as to why I don't want to title in the last couple of years, we've not had a match winner. We've not had a De Bruyne. We've not had a Salah. We've not had a guy that when it's a bit tight or you're not even playing that well, bam, a bit of magic from this player and you've got a goal out of nothing. I saw him as that guy. He's the guy that might not run games. He might not be involved a lot, but has the ability to do something special off the cuff. And I just think that he will be really crucial for us in the second half of the season. A lot of people talking about, oh, he's not getting much games. No, he'll get games. There's a lot of games coming up. He will get games. I think the Villa mistake he made, I think pissed off Arteta. I think he's punishing. Oh, my camera's gone again. Hang on a second.
Yeah, your camera's gone. I didn't want to interrupt your flow because you were on a
this happened
thing.
on the pod last week.
Yeah, the listeners are worried that the Sith Lords have struck.
It might cut out again in a second, but hopefully it won't. But there was a game against Villa where we lost that one. He made the mistake. He didn't track his runner for the Matty Cash goal. I think since that game, Mikel Arteta is sending him a message and saying, right, watch. Just sit on the side and watch for now, because that can't happen again. Martinelli doesn't do that. Trossard doesn't do that. You just got to learn that can't run here. So I'm convinced he will play a key role as a squad player. He will. There'll be a game this year that he wins for us. That'll be crucial. I'm adamant. I'm biased because I love him. He's my guy, but he's not been great recently, admittedly. But I just think, I guess my wider point is squad players are going to be really needed between now and May. And I think he's one of the main ones that I think I can see him being a difference maker in a couple of crucial games coming up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And also, the reason why Eza probably hasn't come under as much scrutiny is because he had two seminal moments.
Yep.
The hat trick in the North London derby, the goal against Palace, and even the pass to Martinelli to get the equaliser against Manchester City. So he's got some love coupons, but he hasn't taken his opportunities when he's been given them of late. And listen, it's a long slog, and these players are all going to play a part, including one of my favourites, Noni. I like the chaos he brings to the table, and I like how unpredictable he is. I always say if you could put Noni's approach with Saka's end product together, you'd have quite an elite player.
His finishing is diabolical. His end product is terrible. But the first bit is beautiful. He beats his man so well. Every time he cooks his man, and his pullback is awful, or he runs it out, or his shot is like, his finishing is atrocious. So I agree. If you merge those two,
But again, the finish against Club Brugge in the semi-final. I mean, he can do it, right?
True,
I feel like sometimes the anxiety to produce, to do something is, there's a difference in wearing the shirt in the manner in which he did too, where he was so uninvited to the arrival party at the beginning. And I think the way he's handled himself as well. This is what I love about these players. Like, even Norgard, he's come in, played centre-back, done what he's been asked to do and done it well. I like what we have here, and I think we've got good characters, and those players are going to be really important in the next few months. What is the fifth one for you, Jordan?
So the fifth and final one is, for me, the most important one. And it's probably the biggest reason why I didn't tip Arsenal to win the title at the start of the season. It's been an issue for a while now, but dealing with pressure. I don't have faith that this team knows how to deal with pressure. I've not been given any evidence to suggest that when it gets really sticky in March, this team can ride it through. And I really want them to, but I've got too much evidence to show the opposite. If this team can keep their heads, if this team can focus for every minute of every game between now and May, I think they walk the league. Forget win it. I think they walk it, because I think City are very, very close to being broken. I know it's January. I think if City lose or draw, definitely lose, but if they draw against United on the weekend and we beat Forest, that then becomes 8 points. I don't think Arsenal lose too many games between now and May this season. And I think then City are on the brink of being broken. And I just think we can't. I say on the pod, don't blink, Arsenal. Don't flinch. They're waiting for us to flinch. They're waiting for us to have a wobble. Our wobble came against Liverpool. Luckily, they wobbled the night before, so it was all right. It didn't really matter. But for me, the ability to deal with pressure. Can Saka, Rice, Saliba, Raya, we know how good you are in terms of ability. My question is, are you the guy when it really gets on top? When it really gets on top and you go 1-0 down in the 74th minute, do you have what it takes to grab that game, keep your calm, and turn it around? These guys' ability is not up for question for me. There's no debate about how good these players are. The debate is in the mind. It's in the head. Are you going to fold when you go 1-0 down? When you go 2-0 down? Or do you have the mentality to get it together, stick to the plan, and come back? Do you have the ability to nick a win, to nick a draw when you didn't really deserve it? Do you have that ability? I saw it against Newcastle at St James's Park this season. I need to see it in March when it really, really, really does matter. So for me, my 5th thing to win this title is mentally. Can you really overcome the accusation that we're bottlers? We have talent, but up here, nah. City are the ones that have it up here. Can you prove to me in the Arsenal fan base that you really have it? That for me is what wins us a title. Can you mentally be as strong as you are in terms of physically and what you're doing on the pitch? And if they can do that, like I said, I think we can win this league. I mean, I would like to win it at the Etihad.
Yeah, in April.
I think if they can keep their nerve, because Man City have got United, Liverpool, and Tottenham, their next 3 games, right? Now we may drop points, but they're not going to win. They won't win all 3 of those games. So the point I'm making that there's a chance to really rack up a gap if we can hold our nerve before March. Before March, I don't think it's a great league. It's not a great league this season or last season. It's not a great league. So if you can hold your nerve for a few more weeks, City will break.
Brilliantly put. I love the passion and I love everything you said there. And I'm taking out the cup games because, we've got Inter in the Champions League and we've got the Chelsea game coming up at the beginning of February. In the league, we've got Forest next. We've got Manchester United at home. We've got Leeds United away. Bit of a banana skin, that one for me. We got Sunderland at home. We got Brentford away. And then the North London derby wraps up February. And, again, very, very winnable games. And our depth is better than Manchester City's, Jordan, for sure. And their schedule, I fancy Manchester United this weekend to beat them.
I think it's a draw. Yeah.
I think Manchester United are going to beat them. And whether it's the Michael Carrick, they'll get excited again. He's the guy. I can see it happening now. All the headlines. Carrick should be the permanent manager because they'll beat them like 3-1 or something, or 3-2. I think that they'll win that game. And then City have got Wolves at home. That's 3 points. They've got Tottenham away, their bogey team. And then they've got Liverpool at home, Fulham and Newcastle. Liverpool away, Fulham and Newcastle at home, and then Leeds away, and that wraps up their February. So there's a lot of football to be played. But I love what you said there, because for me, it's always been the difference of this Arsenal team succeeding or not is about mentality. We've got the talent, we've got the depth, we've got the players. For me, it's these 3 things, Jordan. It's consistency, depth, and mentality. And at some point, you need to overcome the adversity that has hopefully taught you those lessons, right? This is the year we get over the hump. There's never been a better time. I actually think Manchester City were a really good team. We don't like being the hunted. We like being the hunter, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've learned from that. But those 2 City teams were fantastic,
right?
And you want to win the league, I think, too, when Pep's still here. There's something about it, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
That you could pull it off and stuff. But the courage is a huge thing too. Mikel's always talking about his players having courage. I think he needs to have a little bit of courage as well, Jordan. And maybe try a game where he's got Madueke, Gyokeres, and Eze up front, or he's got Madueke, Havertz, and Jesus on the left. Like,
Yeah,
that's how you win titles. Like the element of surprise and showing some courage and doing something different.
agree. It's
But
nerve. It's just pressure. Deal with the pressure, and we'll
yeah.
be fine.
Real quick before you go, which play for you is played in the shadows but brings the light? This is something I talk about a lot on the show.
Mi- Double M, Mikel Marino, my boy. I love him.
He's something else, isn't he?
I love him. I just
I
think
did know you were going to say him, but he's one of my unsung heroes.
oh, he's my guy, man. He's my guy. I think he'll have a key role to play
Mhm.
in this run-in as well. I just think we will need people like him. He ain't gonna start every single game, but we will need him. We will. Rice can't play every 90 minutes. Zubimendi can't play every 90 minutes. So we need those squad players to come in, do their job, and then get back to the bench. Come in, do your job, get back to the bench. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably applicable to a lot of the squad. There's only really 5 or 6 players that are like have to start. Everybody else is fighting for a spot. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
people like Mikel Marino they do their job really well, really well. People don't
Brilliant.
think he's that great because he's not fancy. I
Oh,
think technically one of our best players.
yeah.
His technique is crazy,
Yeah. He's
crazy.
he's a he's a he's a he's a baller.
Yeah,
And
man, I love him. Double M.
and the way he's kind of deputized, you see Arteta moving Mikel Marino up front. That's what I'm talking about. Courage, right? Show us something a little bit different. Don't do like for like too often. There's going to be twists and turns. Like show
Yeah.
that type of courage. But I love your choice. Right, what have you got coming up? Tell the kids where they can find you if they've been
Cool.
living under a rock. Here's what I've got. I've got your handle here for those listening on audio. It's _ Jordan J. Bryan on X. He's
Oh,
Jordan Jarrett-Bryan on Instagram. And
very
I
kind.
wanted to make sure that you gave all your
Oh,
bits and bobs a shout out.
that's
So let
kind.
everyone know about some of your
Yeah,
stuff.
man. So I guess immediately for Arsenal fans, I do the Loose Cannons podcast with Turkish and James. We do 2 pods a week. So go check us out there. We're on all audio platforms and on YouTube. We're on Turkish's channel, so Turkish LDN, or just Google Loose Cannons podcast. We have a lot of fun over there. You can join in. You can join in abusing me in the comments. Everyone else does. So come over there and have some fun. If you want more hot takes from yours truly, I have another podcast, Call Is Disabled, where I interview people who are doing phenomenal things who just happen to have a disability. We are recording season 2 from February. So go check out, go give us a follow on the handles on YouTube, audio platforms, and Instagram there. And my name, Jordan Jarrett-Bryan. If you want to keep up to date with all of my nonsense, there's my handle on the screen there, Jordan Jarrett-Bryan. And I'm the Channel 4 News sports correspondent. So if you're in the UK and you want to keep across what's happening in the world of sport, I'm your guy.
I love that.
I'm the man.
Jordan, the Batman, Jarrett-Bryan. It's been brilliant
Yes.
having you back on Squad Central, getting a lot of love in the chat, and also a lot of shit as well, as you can imagine, which
Always.
is something that you're accustomed to now.
I am.
Please give our regards to the boys over at Loose Cannons. We're looking forward to
will.
having James on Monday.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
You'll love him.
Yeah.
The chat will love him. James is better than me. So if he likes me, you'll definitely like James. James is the guy.
Yeah, he was on a couple of seasons ago, but it's been a while, and he's grown since. So we love his take. So yeah, we're looking forward to having him. And then we just need Turkish to get the trifecta. So
there you go.
We'll complete the cycle. Okay, make sure you go give Jordan a follow. Thanks so much. Let me know if you agree with his top 5 things. Make sure you have your voice heard in our YouTube comment section. And if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, leave your comments for Jordan too. Do you agree with the top 5 things he selected that Arsenal must do between now and May in order to win the title? Until next time, squaddies, at ease. And don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. Talk to you tomorrow at 6 p.m. with Potsy. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. You're getting some love. Look at that.